Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk Bounty video. And in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Luke Skywalker from Star Wars, or from episode 4 A New Hope as it was later named. Now it is safe to say that I have been really looking forward to getting this figure in hand ever since it was revealed, and to be honest, way before that. It has been high time that we had a really good farm boy Luke Skywalker, if you want to call him that. You know, Luke Skywalker in his farm boy outfit. And of course, on this classic card back, this is one of the first 12. This is Luke Skywalker, the hero from the first film, on that Kenner card back. Absolutely glorious. I'm sure many of you are excited to get this one in hand as well for your carded collections, and also for your loose collections as well, because by all accounts, the figure looks pretty decent. We will be opening this one up, of course, and checking it out in more detail and comparing it against another Luke Skywalker that I have in my collection. I'm not going to be going through all of the Luke Skywalkers that I have, because there have been a fair amount over the years. I'm just going to be comparing this one against what I've always felt has been the best so far, basically. And that's what I'm going to be doing in this review. But if you happen to enjoy the video, hit the like button down below, subscribe if you're new, and let's take a closer up look at that card back. So as I mentioned, the classic image there of Luke Skywalker looking up at those twin suns. Now, of course, this is a flipped image from the film. So all of his little gadgets and everything are on the wrong side, and also his outfit goes across the wrong side of his body. You can see the figure is actually correct. It goes that way. That is because that is a flipped image. Luke Skywalker in the name pill with that classic orange name pill with the orange behind the figure there. Star Wars racetrack design. You've got VC344 in the line, and there you go. There's the figure on the back there. He looks pretty cool there in the bubble with his accessories. He's going to go great next to the Princess Leia that we also have in the line, and of course with Han Solo and Chewie and Ben Kenobi all coming out this year. We're going to have a nice set of heroes from the A New Hope film, which is pretty awesome. There's the back once more. So that's enough of the card back. I mean, obviously, you know, it's one of the classics, isn't it? And we finally have it in the vintage collection proper, numbered in the line, which is great. All right then, so here is Luke Skywalker out of the packaging. I've just got him standing there because I just want to check out the figure before we start sort of posing him around, checking out all of the articulation and things like that. And I forgot to mention as well, when I was talking about the card back, for this particular release, I was actually quite pleased that we didn't have too many accessories, you know, clogging up that bubble. This release of Luke Skywalker, for me anyway, is on that classic card back, and I think I just prefer it where the bubble isn't, you know, cluttered up, and it just looks nice and clean with just a couple of accessories there. But we will go through what accessories he does come with in a second. But there he is. I'm thinking he looks pretty cool. I do like the fact that the trousers or pants are a different color to his tunic, and also are a different color to his boots. I know that there was a whole furore when this figure was first announced about the color of his boots, but these are actually screen accurate. It is a little bit unfortunate that we don't have any weathering on those to really bring out the detail of those sort of like strappings around his boots. That's a little bit unfortunate, but I'm still pleased that they are, you know, a different color to his trousers and then again his tunic. All three of those should be a slightly different color, and, you know, for the most part, that is screen accurate. You can see that he has the unlit lightsaber hanging down from his belt there, and also the other accessory, which is that little sort of droid beeper detector thing. He also has that on his belt there. That is actually in the correct place on his sort of like belt loadout. He does have different accessories on his belt throughout the first part of the film. For example, he has his like binoculars hanging down at one point, and he also has this other like pouch on the back, which he does not have on this particular figure. But with him just standing there, I think it's a really great sculpt. I'm really happy with it. I think it looks great. I'm glad that they haven't gone down the soft goods route with this particular figure. And with it standing there about sort of like 2 feet away from me, I think the head sculpt actually looks pretty good. But you'll see when we take a really close up look at the figure, then the head sculpt is just ever so slightly off. I feel the way he's pouting with his lips just isn't quite right. But as I say, we'll take a look at that in a second. But we'll just turn him around so we can see the back of the figure there. You can see he's got two sort of pouches on the back of his belt. And we can also see the back of his hair there, which maybe should have been ever so slightly longer. We'll compare this figure again against a figure that has slightly longer hair, and then you can make up your own mind. I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section below about this figure, because it's Luke Skywalker at the end of the day. There's going to be a lot of opinions about whether the head sculpt looks good, whether it should be soft goods, whether it should have had more weathering, whether they've got the boots correct, all those kind of things. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below of your opinions about the figure overall. Before we take a closer up look at the new figure, I just wanted to bring in the version that I have, that I use in my current displays, and this is the figure from the Legacy Collection Battle Pack. I think it was called Resurgence of the Force Battle Pack. You've got Ben Kenobi in there as well, and C-3PO in that battle pack. I think you might have got R2-D2 as well. But you can really see how much they've improved this figure in terms of the sculpting work. It is really a huge improvement, even down to the colors that they've used. I mean, you can see on this guy, he's got almost like gray boots, completely inaccurate. His shirt is also the wrong color. What I would say is I've always quite liked the hair on this figure. You can see his sort of longer bits that go over his ears and down the back of his head a little bit. I feel maybe the new one's got too much of a short haircut maybe. But in terms of the face sculpts as well, and also the height of the figure, I think this one is much more accurate. But yeah, just a huge improvement and something that we've needed for a very long time. I have absolutely no doubts whatsoever that they will not waste this sculpt. We'll get more Luke Skywalkers in the future, probably with extra accessories. You've got the blast shield from his training. You've got the poncho. There's loads of other accessories that you could include with other Luke Skywalkers. And I'm almost certain that we will get those in some shape or form in the future. All right then, so here is the head sculpt, nice and close. And sometimes when you bring things up this close to the camera, it doesn't really do them any favors. Sometimes it looks better from further away. But this is what I was talking about, the lips there. You can really see they're sort of like pouting. It's almost like he's had some filler work done on those lips. And I almost feel that this head sculpt kind of would serve the Empire Strikes Back a little bit better, his sort of look in that film. But at certain angles, it doesn't look too bad. It's nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's nowhere near as bad as the promo shots that we've got. This in hand is a lot better than those shots for sure. But this is where the figure really excels for me. The sculpting work done on his tunic, on his shirt there, really, really good. You can see all of the creasing and everything going on his sleeves and on the tunic itself. Really, really well done. I'm liking the belt details as well. Paint applications on his little buttons there. As I mentioned before, this lightsaber is hanging down from the belt. It is removable. You get the lit lightsaber as well. And that little droid detector as well does clip out. And we'll see how well he can hold that in a second. But I do like the fact that you can attach that to his belt and that it is sort of removable so he can hold it. And then once again, the details on his trousers or pants, as you guys in the US like to call them, look pretty cool. And the strapping work on those legs, on his boots, looks really good as well. As I mentioned, we're just lacking a little bit of weathering on those. Of course, it's like a dusty, sandy planet, Tatooine, and those should really be weathered ever so slightly. But yeah, maybe you guys out there would probably want to do that yourselves. I'm not really into painting my figures, so I'm hoping that they, maybe correct that in the future. But unfortunately, on this release, he's lacking that weathering. But as I said, on the whole, I am really enjoying the figure. It looks really good. In terms of the articulation, the head is on a barbell joint. Lots of range of motion there. We've got the hinges at the shoulders. They go right up and all the way round. Unfortunately, the elbows don't go past 90, but that seems to be because of obviously the tunic there. So a little bit disappointing that they don't go past 90, especially considering how big the discs are on those elbows there. We have the torso joint, lots of range of motion there, lots of crunching going on, which is pretty cool. Swivel. We have the barbell hips, of course. We have the split at the thigh. Knee joint goes a little past 90, and then we have the rocker ankles. So is this the definitive farm boy Luke Skywalker? I would say it's very close. There's a few things missing. I think the head sculpt could be improved on ever so slightly. And I also think he could do with a bit of weathering on his boots there. But apart from that, I'm very, very happy with the figure. It looks really, really good. And as some of you may have seen today, there was an image of a land speeder, which was on a poster from the German Toy Fair. So we know we're getting a TVC land speeder. It'll be interesting to see what figure is packed in with the land speeder. Didn't the Black Series release one with a Luke Skywalker? Maybe TVC will follow in the footsteps of there and, you know, give him some of those accessories that I mentioned earlier. We'll have to wait and see what they do. But for now, I'm going to get my land speeder, the current land speeder from TVC, and see how he fits in that. And there you go. That's what the new Luke Skywalker looks like in his land speeder, the current land speeder. Very, very cool. Here's his lightsaber accessory. It's quite a deep blue color, that one, with the lightsaber hilt. Here's the lightsaber hilt, which attaches to his belt. And here is the tiny like droid detector thing, which also attaches to his belt. So let's see if the figure can hold them. So there we go. There's Luke Skywalker holding that little accessory there. He seems to be able to hold it quite well, which is good. And here he is holding the lightsaber in both hands. Now, what I would say is that I did review the Anakin Skywalker figure the other day, and, you know, both Luke and Anakin are lightsaber wielding figures, and I just felt that the Anakin figure was a little bit more easy to pose. I think it's to do with the tunic and the fact that you can't get his, you know, elbows past 90. It restricts it ever so slightly, but not too much that's a deal breaker, really. I just felt that the Anakin figure sort of, you know, in terms of like two-handed poses and things like that, he was a little bit easier to pose and you could get him into some better poses. But that's not to say that this figure isn't great. It really is. You can see there he's looking pretty cool there. All right then, so one last time, here is Luke Skywalker from Star Wars A New Hope in his farm boy outfit. Really happy with this figure, glad we've got him, and overall I think they've done a pretty good job. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my Patreon supporters and channel members. As always, your support means a great deal to me, so thank you so much. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we shall see you on the next one.